Everyone. Welcome to another Rocket Hub exclusive webinar. And today we have another special deal, and it's related to AI. And we have a founder which is very much passionate about the product. And of course, when you look at the history, there have been successful products being built by the whole team behind 2Slash. And we welcome Itay to this webinar. Thank you so much, Itay, for giving your valuable time and spending it with our Rocketeers to make them understand how 2Slash works and how it can increase their productivity, get them results faster, and like forget the learning loops they have with other extensions. So over the stage to you. If you can let people know about how you got started and how the idea of 2Slash came into the picture and how the name came into the picture, because it's very interesting. So that would be amazing for people to kind of get a gist on. And the stage is
Sounds
yours.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for jumping in. I mean, I'm always excited to talk about project that I'm working on. So for me, it doesn't feel like a job. It's just fun. So I'm happy to be here and happy to have you guys here. Um, a little bit about myself. I currently live in Israel. I used to live in New York for many years. That's where I opened my previous startup, which was like an app for an on-demand laundry and dry cleaning service to your door. And also kind of like I went to the flow of the startup, where I went to Y Combinator, grew the company for a little bit over 400 employees, and we raised a ton of money. And I found myself really in love of like building things from the ground up. And I guess when I merged my company after 8 years, I start like being except of just doing consulting and mentoring for other entrepreneurs and founders, I start like either buying some products online or develop my own products and things from that nature. And regarding 2Slash, I would say it happened probably like a few months ago, where I constantly used different AI tools. If it's for Jasper for writing blogs, or ChatGPT for certain tasks and things of that nature, I noticed that I keep like spending a lot more time than I wanted on like the easy things, the fastest things. If it's to comment here and there, to email here and there, to write posts and things like that, I found myself going back and forth, and it was pretty tedious. And I realized that yes, an AI is a powerful thing, but there's two things that are missing. It's not necessarily as productive if you don't have a way to do it in a productive way, and the results are not necessarily helpful for you. I mean, if it's not helpful, it's not productive, because you actually need to go in and fix and doing a lot of those things. And when my partner Alex, me and him are doing different, we have different products, and we have different micro SaaS and things from that nature. And when we thought about like, hey, should we do something about it? And I told him, look, I would definitely use it for myself, because I couldn't find, with all the, say, the hype with the AI out there, I didn't find something that was actually simple, easy to understand, and easy to operate, to actually save me time and get good results. So kind of like, why we build it, that's why I'm talking about it right now. But I guess the name 2Slash is when I start like digging into a few, Alex is also a programmer, but when I did a few courses in programming, I was intrigued with like opening up with // it's like was a cool thing that I always thought. And I said, what if like our command will be 2/, and this is kind of like, we said, okay, let's look for the domain, and wow, 2slash.ai was open, and boom, we actually have we have it ready. And I guess the 2/ was from the like why we did even decided to build it is, I'm very early adapter mindset, and I like to be in the ground. This is why I'm doing those calls. I don't have to. I enjoying those, and I like actually building and solving problems. I'm not necessarily a fan of just building features or just building products, but I like to solve problem. And I felt like this is a problem that I have similarly as my previous startup. And this is kind of why I went about it. And this is where we tackle it. So I want to talk a little bit about the different things that I would say are the benefits, high level benefits of 2Slash before we're going in, and I'm going to show you the product, of course. So, productivity online is, what is it, right? It's the amount of work you do to get things done. So it's not necessarily the ability to do certain things, right? It's to actually doing something that you don't need to go back and do it again or things from that nature. So being productive is being, the amount of work you can actually get done. And then efficiency is what we talked about, like how well can you do it, right? If I do things that are halfway, or like I write a post that was written, let's say, with an AI, but I don't feel comfortable sharing it, right? Or putting it out there, then it's not really effective. And I guess those are the main two. And of course, what I found out when you're going into different platform, different areas, if it's emails, if it's Twitter, if it's LinkedIn, if it's writing a blog post or whatever it is, you need to develop some kind of like an expertise, right? You need to, if I'm writing a blog, how would I incorporate the SEO part of it? Or if I'm writing a post in Twitter, how do I know how to write it well enough to fit the culture of the platform or whatever it is? And we wanted to capture also the expertise part of it to save you a lot of time. Where we're having the prompt library, which we talk about it, that gives you a lot of this like expert kind of abilities, almost superheroes abilities. And then the writer blocks. How is it? Like, probably everybody had it in their past, where you just try to write something, even if it's a response, even if it's a post, even if it's a short email, and like you're not sure, you want to get started. Sometimes even if you're getting an answer that is even 60-70% of what you want, is giving you an idea of how to develop it and how to actually have something. And this quickly, as a tap of a button to get this is really helpful. And of course, with the changes in AI and things from that nature, you want to be also on top of like excess innovation. So of course, as the innovation increases and things coming out as new models of AI and different things, we definitely want to be out there and help you, help you be part of it. So the main use cases that I see, at least from me personally, and a lot of interviews I did to get it up and running, and also the users that we have currently, it's almost like 3 different segments that we saw. Either those that try either to grow a community or to engage with a community. It can be with, an interesting post or reply, comment, things from that nature. But their job is to nurture and develop a community. So it's hard to come up with new content, with new response, and to be diverse, to learn about different people or different content that was written and reply to it at the same time. So it's different skill set, and it feels like they have a lot of short content creation that comes in hand, and they need to do it on a daily basis. Secondly is the social media aspect of it. Like a lot of us either do it for a company, for our solopreneurship kind of things, or just to build up our brand or our name. We engage a lot in social media, and part of growing is to put out different content, is to reply, is to engage, to create more active, noticeable kind of content out there. Mostly is within short form. And of course, the sales or support productivity, like you writing a lot of emails, either for sales, either in your position, either for your own company or whatever it is. And a lot of like tickets and things from support that you want a quick response on, to figure out how to answer the right email or to do little things like that. It feels like it's going to take you a lot more time to go back and forth with ChatGPT and other tools that are more complicated, and have something simple and easy to operate. That's kind of like general things. I think that in this thing, I'm just going to go in and show a little bit about the product. I'm not sure if people here had it or try it. Just to let you know, even if you want to check it out, you always have 2,500 words for free. So this is our website. You basically go in and install a Chrome extension, and you can start. I'm just going to start by introducing generally what is in the extension and a little bit about how can you operate and do things with it. So this is the extension. So you can either tap into here all the way up, or you can activate it in a different way. We're going to explain it in a second. And as you see here, this is your I'm subscribed, but you have a certain count of words. Just to make sure that the words that is count is only on the respond that you generate, not on your question, not on your query. It's only on the response. So if you summarize like a big article, only the summarized part, the word of the summarized part will be counted here. And you have a few things. So the basic one is contact us. Just click it and you can email us. Then I would go into the first thing you would see when you sign up is to create your own voice. So on top of just being a productivity tool, we want to be able to not mimic, but to bring your own voice into your conversation, into what you're writing. It's not just to sound as a generic AI, but to give more of you into it. So you can put here, what is your job? This is just an example of what I wrote: serial entrepreneur, mentor, coach, and then you can write what your tone want to be, short, concise, coherent, to the point, inspirational, and then a short sentence that you feel is showing or representing what you want it to be. Either you can copy it from somewhere where you really like, or you can write your own, and you can always change it. You can always tap into it. You just change it, you do save, and this is how you tune into your voice, which we'll get in a second. As you see here, my default tone is me. We'll get it in a second. Then the next part is the setting, where you have all the different options. So you can choose, and this is you choosing. There is no automatic one. We're not replacing or changing for you. If you want to use the ChatGPT 4 with us consistently, as you pay with us, you can always use it. You can choose either that or that. You can, if you finish up with your keywords or the words you have for the month, you can add your OpenAI key if you want, and we would continue on with your key after if you hit the limit. Then you can choose a language, a default language where you want the answers to be from all those different languages. So for example, if I chose Hebrew, which I also speak Hebrew, then it doesn't matter if I took an English content, the result will be in Hebrew. And then you have the pop-up close automatically, which is a function in a second I will show you. You have the sidebar button, which is hanging on the side here, which you can take it off. And you have the action bar, which when you're marking a text like this, you would see in a second, you have this action bar. So you can disable if you want to. And of course, you have the default tone, which what we talked about is how you want, if they're your personal or whatever you want to be sounded. And the length of the response, long, one sentence, short, phrase. It's up to you, and you can always changing just by going here to the bottom. Then the last part here is your commands. So you have our own like commands that is pre-built, and you have different commands from our library, which I'm going to explain in a second. And you can also generate your own command, which we'll talk about it also in a second. So those are the main options that you have. Easy to understand. We don't want to complicate things. We want to make things simple and easy so you can actually generate content. So let's start by showing you a little bit about how to use it. So let me start by just choosing my LinkedIn as the beginning. You can actually tap into any different text field. It can be a Google Doc, or it can be, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or whatever it is. All you need to do is just doing // and you're going to have this pop-up jumping in. And this is how fast you get it. And it's right on the spot where you generate the content. So we talked about like moving from back and forth. Here, you get it on the spot. And this is an important thing to understand. And you would see how easy it is to move along. Now, what you see here is all the different commands. And in order to generate a respond, there is the component of the command, which you tell us which command you want, which behind it there is a prompt. And then there is the context that you want to bring. So for example, let's just take something simple as you just start typing write, and you see it's giving you the different things of write. You can either do it or just go with the arrow, press enter, and you're already writing. This is the command. Simple as that. Now here, let's say write a post about let's do about product market fit for startups. Okay, and then you can choose, either you're choosing your own tone, you can choose I wanted a post of like a short paragraph. And right now the command, I'm just by either putting enter or just pressing here, whatever you want, it's going to generate for me a respond right on the spot. The respond, it's of course is dependent on the model that you chose. If I chose the ChatGPT-4, it's going to give me a response ChatGPT-4. If my model default is on 3.5, you're going to get 3.5. So right off the bat, I already got it, and it's already been copied to my clipboard. So with no further ado, I can just go in here and just do paste, and I have a post ready, and I can basically generate it. You can read it. Simple as that. Now, let's assume that I want to go and say, I want to write an email, and I want a warm introduction for a new team member. Okay, and I want it to be, let's say, generic tone, or let's say I want it to be me. Okay, and I want it to be short paragraph. Let's say I'm doing, and I'm pressing enter, it's going to generate. Now, we put a command that is saying email. So the improvement here is basically, you see, we have already the frame of it. The model is already taking in consideration that it's an email writing and not a post on LinkedIn, right? So you have your subject line, you have dear whatever, and you see how cool is it. I'm thrilled to introduce the newest team member, and you're putting a name. And what if you don't like it, right? You can always go back here and say, okay, I want a new response. So it's going to generate for you a new response. Or you want a different tone. I want it as a community manager. Or you want a different length. Or you want to give a different instruction. Make it funny. Or whatever it is, you can just generate it on the spot. And let me show you. So let's say I want to do it as a community manager, and I'm going to regenerate another response. Now, the cool thing is, while you're still on the session, we are keeping for you the versions. So it's not like you cutting the version. So you see here, you have history. So you can just go back to your previous one and copy it if you like, or you can go to the new one and copy that if you like. Once you copy, you just close it, and then you can basically generate, and voila. And you can just, and you see the structure is ready for you, everything is ready for you, and you can do it either on the email here, whatever you want. And this is just kind of like the basic way of how to use it. Of course, there is more into it in terms of commands. For example, we'll show you in a second in the library of more in depth, but this is how you're basically using our regular thing. Now, sometimes you have things that has more context into it, right? This guy wrote a nice post, or you have someone that wrote almost like a mini article here, right? And you want to like do an action with the context, not just generate from scratch. So it can be either like marking an email, it can be a post, it can be an article, whatever you can copy those things. You only need to mark with your mouse, and you see this little pop-up jumping in. It knows that we're reading, and then you only need to give a command what you want to do with this text. So a command could be, I want to reply, I want to check grammar, I want to reword it, I want to summarize it. Okay, let's have a summarize. Maybe it's a long post, I'm not sure of, I want to summarize it. And you just give it that. You're choosing the tone. Let's say I'm putting it me, and I'm putting it as one sentence, and I'm just clicking enter. That's it. I'm just copy it, click enter, and now it's going to take this context. In this thing is we wanted to summarize, and it's going to give me a summarize that a company position healthy eating will be attending in whatever it is. This is kind of like the summarize. I can take it, can do whatever I want. This was just like one example of how to do the contextual. In another thing, like we talked about social media, you can take it and do it something like I want to reply, right? Let's say I want to have LinkedIn reply to a thing. Again, we're putting more sophistication into something that you don't even need to know. You're just taking the context, you're taking our prompt behind the scene that you don't even need to write. You don't even need to know how is the best, let's say, reply would be in LinkedIn. And you just do it. And then you just, usually when I use prompts that are very advanced, I keep the tone as the default, like just default tone, and the length. This is my trick. You can put other tone, but usually when you're having a good prompt, you want to keep the prompt voice. But again, this is just a suggestion. You can do it either or. But I basically told him to answer. So look what he generated for me. Looking forward to connecting, and your mission aligns perfectly with ours. Let's explain potential synergy. Could you share more about the world study? So it's actually, I'm coming here to comment, and boom, I have a comment that is ready to engage with someone. It's actually asking question. It's getting, we talked about creating engagement. This is not just a basic comment. You can use also basic comment, but just giving you an example. So this is kind of in a short way to show you the two basic use cases I'm saying in how to generate it. But the magic I feel should be coming from the ability to do multiple things that you maybe not don't know yet, or you don't have the expertise. So we design a prompt library. Now, we have a little over 50 prompts right now, and we generate new ones every week. And the goal for us is to basically think about how to make your life easier and more effective. I see. So I need to use my own API, someone asked. We'll get to it, but no, you don't need to use your own API, because everything here, you see, I didn't enter once an API key. There's no touch with OpenAI. You can if you want to buy the Biok, which is giving you that, but we'll talk about the pricing in a second. So let's say I'm interested to create a blog, or I want to improve like my SEO and website copy. So let's say I'm choosing a blog. You have this category. So let's say I want to rewrite like a human, or blog post outline, right? So here you can see, before you adding the prompt to your library, so you can see what was the command, was only blog outline. That was the command. And I only wrote to it, building a community online. And the output was a structural way of me to develop my blog post. So it taken in consideration many different things. And you have the description of what is it going to generate for you, right? Like high quality content outline for your blog, a full blog post outline, speed up your content writing. It will help you write quick blog posts, comprehensive outline. Now, in order to add it to your, what we said before, my commands, right? You only need to click add to prompt. Now it shows me error because I already have this prompt. So if you have it, you have it. And this is what I meant. So you can even search here. Let's say I want to choose something that had to do with LinkedIn. So I have like LinkedIn posts or hooks. You have generated engaging viral LinkedIn posts, which is super cool prompt. So basically, I only wrote how to mix entrepreneurship with wellness and spirituality. It should talk about the struggle and tips to overcome it. Boom, I got a very engaging, very sharp kind of message that you can feel comfortable to put it on your own LinkedIn without even thinking about it. And that all of those things are we thinking about, but it's also generate with people are asking us about. So one of the things that we're giving for people is right here on the prompt library is to request a prompt. So sometimes maybe you have a new things that you're working on and you want more that like thing, you're just going here, request it. And within a couple of days, you're going to have it. So our goal here is to build up, and we have a few engineers working on it, and we have other new people that generate for us more and more. But the goal here is from business to even generate for you testimonials, requests from your customers, or it can go by Twitter thread ideas, or it can be by rewrite like a marketing expert, like taking your own content or do it, or YouTube scripts, or it can be from anywhere between like business, like generate investor list for your startup, or root cause analysis for your business, or idea generator, or whatever it is that you want to do on the spot. And we took the time to write in each one of these prompts. This is not a prompt with a couple of lines. This is a prompt that designed with a few things. Some of the prompts are actually with more componentes, but we'll show it in a second. But this is about the prompt library. Now, you can actually, if you have a good prompt, and we'll have some people that do it, you can actually fill up a form and give us your prompt so other can share. So it's also an ability for you when you sometimes write a good prompt to share it with the community. And right here, as you see on the prompt library, you have either the prompt you can delete, and you can have all of those prompts, all those 50 in the prompt library, or you can have one. It's up to you. But you can also generate one for yourself. So let's say I want to add a prompt, and I want the command to be Itay, all lowercase, and then I'm going to do yo, okay? And I wanted to do something, doesn't matter, act as a copywriter, specialize in storytelling, or you can just write whatever you want, right? And this is the prompt that's going to be used by this command. And you can also add an attribute, which I'm going to explain in a second. So if in this case, I'm going to add an attribute, it's going to ask me what's the name. Let's say we'll call it subject. And this attribute will be used, okay? So let me take an example of something, and you can just do save and do. Let me show you, like, for example, something that I wrote, okay? This is like a reply, and this is not in the case, it's reply Itay. It's like you can have your own voice into it. You want it in a certain way, you want it in a certain vibe, you want it in a certain whatever, you can always do that. And I want to show you something with an attribute, how it's going to look like when you do it. So for example, let's write something. For example, let's say I want to do blog. Okay, I want a blog outline or blog structure. Okay, sorry, I'm going to show you in a better way of how to do it. Okay, so let's say I'm going to look for something with an attribute. You see here, this is an attribute. So let's say I want to take this one. I want to have a YouTube idea. Because you added an attribute is different components which you want to take in consideration, but they're changing, right? It's the same concept that in order for the answer for the YouTube script to be good, I need to give what is my product and service, right? And who is my ideal customer? So this is the attribute you want to add, which can change. So let's say I'm generating a post. If I'm telling them what the subject of the post is, great. But if I have a different audience, I want to add an audience to it, so I can add more complexity into it. So let's say my product is a productivity tool. An ideal customer is, let's say, startup founders. Okay, so I take this thing, I just close, and I have those things, and here I want to write a YouTube script about, and then you just generate the idea. We can say how my tool will grow fast in a competitive market. Okay, this is just what I want them to do, a YouTube script with this product, this thing, and you just basically generate it. So even though you're like right here on the spot, or you write on your Google Doc or whatever it is, those are the kind of stuff that you can generate, and either you create your own command, or using our own, we have a lot of advanced one, but you would see that once this generated for you, you can also copy it and do some changes if you want to, you know, but it's giving you the basic of a lot of maybe the things that maybe you don't know how to write a script. Maybe YouTube is not a channel that you're familiar with, or things like that. So you want to, wait a second. Okay. And you see, voila. Let me copy it, and just for all of you guys to see, it's actually built me a script, you know, video idea, the ultimate growth hack, how our tool outperform in competitive market. This video will start with a dramatic high energy introduction. It's actually giving me a script, right? The video will introduce the tool, and I build it in a way where you see an actual narrator and closing shot. You're actually getting, it's not just a general script. I build it with the idea, with the flow. You need to understand the end of the day, OpenAI or the other AI tools, they not necessarily know how to generate the best to replace you. So in order for them to be, you need to actually do the prompt correctly to generate a very good response, right? If I want to have a good, let's say LinkedIn post, which I want to do it, or I want to respond in a certain way, or want to do an article, you know, we have things like, one second. We have things like, let's say you have, you want to have, you know, your competitor have a great article. You can actually copy the text, and it's going to do plagiarism safe, to do speed things up. You want a great hook. You had a post, you don't have a right hook. You want to answer an email. You know, you want to answer this, you want to summarize something, you want to answer it in email. All of those little things, it's what being helpful for you to move fast as you go. And I don't need to leave the screen. I can be either where I want to be without all of this hassle. Now, one thing that I'm going to mention is this is the start. We have a lot more things in the roadmap to go with, but I can tell you that I'm using it on a daily basis. I can even share with you like posts that I wrote with it. Let me show you, even just to show that I'm not like just saying, but let me show you my latest post here. So this is like, it actually took in consideration before the threshold that LinkedIn had to only see the first line or so, like it's 150 character. And I wrote like this, the whole blog here, of course, with a few tweaks, but the generic thing was written by the tool, you know? So I was there staring at the black screen, comparing yet another battle with writers. See short and it's, you know, it's funny. It's not too much. It's like short, it's concise. There's a lot of things for it to generate for you something that can be helpful. I guess I want to leave some time to questions. I'm sure there is things that I didn't go over, because, you know, I want to be able, probably with the questions, we'll talk more about those. But let me stop for a second and see if people have some questions. I see in the Q&A some stuff. So yeah.
Yep. I read it out for you. So of course, I think you answered the name, that why is the name 2Slash. That's pretty much sorted. And yeah, I think even few people had a question that, let's say if you're generating social posts, right? So social posts have hashtags for better reach. So can it generate hashtags?
That's the thing. Like, I will give you even more than this. When I did my LinkedIn post, or in general, LinkedIn algorithm don't like more than 1 to 3 hashtags. So if I put on just in general on OpenAI, it's just going to generate for me 5 hashtags or whatever it is. So the fact that we take in consideration also the specific platform is to give you what is favorable for you to get good results in there. Again, I cannot control if you don't have any like it's we can control what we can control, but we're definitely taking in consideration those little things. If it's the right hook, if the structure in a certain way, if it's a hashtag if needed, you know, Twitter versus LinkedIn, those kind of stuff. Yeah. I see how many devices and browser can use on a single code. We have no limitations.
Yep.
You can install it as many Chrome browsers. It's only on Chrome right now, and many computers. I have it on my three of my computers. There's no once you have a sign up and you have a user, then you can use it on all.
Correct. So there's no limitation on how many browsers
No,
or
not at all.
Windows tabs you can use it.
No.
And even devices, of course, it works on extension, so it's a Chrome. You need to access it from
Yeah, so it
your
has to be
desktop.
on a yeah, exactly.
Yes. So you can access it from many desktops as you want, and you just need to have it installed. That's it. And you can work on anywhere. So if you're on Instagram desktop, Facebook desktop, so just open it up, just type 2Slash, and you're good to go.
Exactly.
The next is, does it have the history of the generated content?
So that's a good question. That's a good question.
Yes.
I would say so the quick answer is no. When you're on a specific session, yes, you're gonna have the history. Okay. But we don't want to keep the history in terms of privacy policy. You know, we don't want to keep your information. However, we see what results you like, which you didn't replace, or things from that nature. But we don't want to keep records of this as for now. It's from privacy issues. We don't want to do it. I don't know if it's something that's going to change in the future. Just to keep in mind that if you generate a content, you can always, if you on a Google Doc or whatever it is, you can always copy the generated one and keep it aside for you guys. For like, let's say you're building up, let's assume that you're building up right now a content, weekly content things. You can do it on a Google Doc and just generate all of it in one place, or you can be right there in like your Tweet Hunter or whatever it is you're using for the social media ones, and just put it there and on the spot copy there and build those up.
Amazing.
Okay.
I think that's a good answer, and I think it's very much relevant for what we're trying to achieve. With 2Slash, which is quick stuff done, and you would forget what happened. You posted, and then that's kind of posted. You just go and check the results. That's it. So it right now tracks. Let's say if you're working on one particular prompt or one particular generated content, you can have a look at it. You can go back when Itay showed right now that what content you wrote previous to that. So that's kind of good. So once you're done with it, you're done with it. So if you want searchable history, then I think that's like full blown stuff. But of course, that can be done. But what the main purpose for 2Slash is for you to go ahead, get the enter the prompt, get the copy, paste it, and just check the results. So you can. That's what it is. It is made for. Cool.
Yeah.
So there are two more questions. I think if you want to take one right now, and then later we can then do it. So
Yeah, I think one is it's simple. What happened if we ran past the 880 words a month? If you have your own OpenAI key, what you're gonna do? It's only for those that are actually on the pay. It's for everybody to see, but it's only gonna work on if you are a paid member. You see here OpenAI key. You just put it here. You do save, and automatically when you ran out of words, it's gonna use your API, like your OpenAI key. So it's probably wouldn't, if you're not paying for the GPT-4, it's only going to use for what you can pay or what you have. But that's simple answer. We just, we had a lot of questions about it. So we fixed this thing pretty fast for people. And I want to know about shortcut keys. I hope there are helpful shortcuts, such as switching from sidebar to the editor instead of using the mouse or trackpad. That's great question. Yes. There is a shortcut. Also, let me show you a quick thing. If you if you are writing a command, so you can either write it or scroll it, or you just start typing it. Let's say I'm writing tweet, right? It's going to give me everything with a tweet. And I don't need to use the mouse. I can just go, you can see my, but I can look at the mouse, it's standing. I'm doing it with my arrows on the keyboard, right? Let's say I'm choosing this, I'm putting enter, that's it. And then let's say I'm typing, rewrite the tweet and whatever I'm typing, then I'm doing enter, that's it. I don't need to leave. And once it's finished, it's going to be copied to your clipboard. So you can just go in and I chose, doesn't seems to be a valid tweet or thread. It's funny. But you can choose for this pop-up to disappear. You have it in the setting. Or if it's not disappearing, right after when you finish, you need to close it. But that's the only thing. And then you just do Command V. So that's kind of like the short answer for that. Yeah, I think do we have any other question, or someone have anything that
Yes.
Yeah,
I think yes for now. I think after that, after we go through some of more stuff, they'll keep having more questions because this is interesting.
okay, cool, that's cool. So also one thing that I want to show you is the ability to think kind of like fast and things that you like, and to do things on the spot. So let's say I want to get an inspiration. Let's say I want to do I see like great posts that I really like. You can always go here and do things like this, and you can choose like commands like, for example, rewrite, or rewrite like a marketer, whatever it is. And when I'm doing rewrite, for example, and I'm choosing, let's say, the default tone, it's actually going to take the same structure, the same stuff, but it's going to bring almost like a new idea. So sometimes you can do it on existing content that for someone else, and sometimes you can do it on your own. What if you have a great content that was successful? You see, like it's just changing few of the words. It's keeping the same thing, but it's in different words and different sentences. And right on the spot, you can put it, and when you're scrolling down, you can put it aside for you guys, and or to just do a post if you want to. So this is like a cool trick to generate content that is not necessarily yours, or you can go to your own content. Let's say you're going on content you already wrote, and you want to put like a change in wording, or to, let's say it's 6 months past and you had a great post and you want to vivid or to make it go live again. This is something you can do. You can also like when you generate some of the content, okay, you not necessarily need to think about it as that's it, like we're doing everything for you. Sometimes it just can break, it can give you like some kind of I would say what we talked about, the writer's block. Okay, I want to, let's say, tweet generator, and I want to do, okay, I want to do let's say startup growth in the early startup growth struggle in the early days, and you can give more context, tips to improve, or this can be just a basic tweet generator. We also have frameworks, different models of framework of writing things, and I will show. But let's say I want to keep me, and I wanted to keep the length like this. So
hey, can you
right off,
zoom in? Can you zoom in on the desktop?
yeah,
It's fine.
yeah.
Good.
You
More.
can see now better.
Yes, now it's perfect. Thanks.
So it's giving you like an idea. Here we talked about the hashtags. Here you got the hashtags. So it's giving you like it's like generate for you a quick tweet. Now, sometimes you don't like it, you can always change it. But this is an example of something immediate. But you can also use it for longer, like for bigger kind of task that you have. Okay, you want to create a meta keywords or things from that nature to an existing blog, or you want to write email in a certain way. I have some cool feature here, which is drafting email newsletter content, right? Like you have newsletter and you want the basic and you generate it every week, or you want to have this kind of like the structure well put, but maybe the content you can change, or you have rewrite an email brief and you know, in a natural tone. So act as a professional, like it's giving you how to take like different subject, different things, and make it as like you an expert. Now, you don't need to know what is the prompt is, or you don't need to go deep into all the speculation. You basically have it right in one click. So this is an example of reply to an email, right? It's smart reply to an email. I just copy a text and I said, I cannot meet this in this week. And I take all of this thing and it's generate for me. Hey, it's been a while. Hope all is well. Let's catch up soon. I'm tied up with work. Sometimes you don't even know how to start, or maybe you don't want to overthink things. You want to write something simple and cool. And I guess as we gonna have more and more professional business replier, this is a cool thing. Like I wrote something like, I won't do it because it's bullshit, okay? And someone taking it and actually created to like a fun and or a professional, I would say, respond. So we have a lot of those, and this is just going to increase. And we are actually working right now with more prompts engineers to actually write prompts to generate for themselves like a page here. So you're going to get more of those. And like I said, we are here to support you. So whenever you need something specific, we can definitely help you by generate. I can tell you that I had a few requests. Like first of all, someone was really into ADA framework. I don't know if you heard about it, but this is attention, interest, desire, action. It's a framework to write a tweet or anything, right? It's a framework of writing. So it's asking you the problem, the product, whatever, and boom, it's generated for you by that framework. So it's not just generating a basic thing. It can be this framework. It can be what, why, and how framework. It can be a lot of those things, which having you, or rewrite like a marketing expert, which is taking a content that may be a bit dull or maybe not as interesting, and like give it a twist or rewrite it in a way where you maybe want to write something or to have a better thing to it. So that can also do. All right, can you zoom in? Yeah, okay. I hope that the zoom in helpful. If not,
yep, we can pretty much see it. It's fine.
Cool. So like I said, I think that the magic here is to operate the tool. You know, I tried different tools out there, and I'm telling you, I've been and I tried everyone. Some of them even with me that I really know about AI, it took me days to figure out how to use it. And then when I use it, there is so many different options, so many complications. Sometimes you don't want to be an expert. You just want to use it as a productivity tool. And this is why our main focus is to be your assistant, your productivity tool, and not necessarily the one that is gonna be the most sophisticated AI. Yes, we're bringing the sophistication in a way where it's easy to generate. Now, talking about our different pricing. So as I said before, you can, this is not the, like on Rocket Hub, there is a lot better options, I would say. But on our regular website, we have the package of the Biok, which is you don't need our help. You bring your own key, okay? But the rest, the monthly or the yearly, you don't need to sign up. Even if you don't have an email or sign up for OpenAI, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. We are doing everything for you, and only and every month it's going back to the same amount. And I guess the last part would be one thing that I wanted to show you here is that in the OpenAI key, what we talked about, if someone missed that, so this is the spot where you put in your key and you save it. And then if you got to a point where you're going over, it can always, it's like the default is to go back to your key. So, and I'm telling you, it didn't happen to me a lot where people finish up their wording, especially in the amount that we have right now, even those that writing a lot, because I think we model it in a way where it can be short form, but pretty productive. It's not like it's ending for you like middle of the month. We did a bunch of testing before to see what's the a good number of words, and even in Rocket Hub, we were very generous to give something even more appealing, because we want people to use it and we want to grow and to improve the product as much as we can. And we have a roadmap, which is public roadmap, which you can take a look. It's on our website, but it's also on Rocket Hub, where you can see some of the stuff that we are working on, and we're gonna integrate in the future, like a web page reader, an SEO page analyzer, the Firefox Safari, and things from that nature on the short run, to train more of the unique voice of yours, so you keep writing in your own voice and enrich the prompt library, and of course a few other integrations that we have in our pipeline. Yeah, I think that's kind of
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think I went over how to operate, but feel free to also go into our website and look at the videos that we have if you're not sure how to operate certain things. And feel free to send us an email on support. We'll love to jump in and help you get the best out of this product. And like I said in the beginning, I'm enjoying solving people's problem, not putting out their products. And
Right.
that's what I'm trying to do here with 2Slash, and I hope it resonates with people here.
Amazing. That's amazing. Of course, we mentioned about the product being convenient, and for the productivity factor, because people can go and just put 2Slash and start writing. That's one of the fastest way to get the problem solved. So let's have a look at from the community's perspective, because people had some questions, because they would have an existing solution which is solving their problem. So how can then 2Slash come into the picture? So what we can do is we can kind of once for all finish that kind of questions and debates about why they should use 2Slash first to solve their problem and get the content out, and why they should make all the other tools on the back burner and just focus on 2Slash to kind of generate their content faster and make their posts more engagement, filled with engagement, filled with comments, reactions, and even reads and saves, right? So let's get that distinction out so people are aware. And of course, we can
For
even talk
sure.
about more on the prompts library, because that's one of the things which people are more intrigued and more interested to have more in their arsenal, so that they can use it whenever they want to. So let's get the differentiation out. How will we go about that?
So first of all, I want to distinguish something, right?
Correct.
You can go in right now with $0 and to OpenAI, to ChatGPT, and use the 3.5 without me. You don't need 2Slash, you don't need any other tool. That's up there, available. You just need a good email. That's it. An email, not even a good one. And you can do it right away. The question is, what are you looking for? What is your pain? If your pain is you want to test AI, you want to play around with AI, you want to have a playground of AI, go test, go play around with OpenAI. It's all easy to do. The question is, if your pain is how to have AI as an integral part of your day-to-day and actually solve your main problem, which is, AI is something to solve something. It's not the solution. AI is just a way to solve a problem. If your problem is time, productivity, and efficiency, then you're in the right thing, because a lot of the other tools, the fact that they are a little bit more complicated, the results, some of them you actually need the key. So you need to go sign in to OpenAI, and then you need to play around with things. And then they're giving you prompt, but I can generate prompt easily. You can go out there for free website of prompts, generic prompts, a couple lines of prompts, but you're just going to get the same answers as everybody else because it's generic. That's the concept. We're trying to create something that you can actually stand behind it. And you can actually saying, I want this content is actually something I want to use. Because if at the end of the day you're using X extension, and at the end of the day you're not happy with the results, then doesn't matter if it's cheaper, more expensive, you're basically not going to use it. We're trying to bring something that you can actually use, you feel comfortable using it, and that's our thesis. Because if I can use me as an entrepreneur with a lot of followers, a lot of things, if I can put out there content that is 95% AI, then I'm sure that most of the people here can definitely do it, and easy as hell. And then another thing that I want to put out there is that we are trying to learn your voice, and this is the goal. Is the more we have a layer of technology to learn, and we're going to adapt it as much as we can, so we can keep giving what you like more of it. And this is another thing that we want to help. So with understanding and make it simple for you to use, with getting results that you actually like, and keep giving you the voice or to stand out there. And this is the three things that we want to put out there. And I guess a competition, I don't look at anybody as a competition, because like I said from the beginning, I'm not an AI tool. I'm a productivity tool. I'm saying if you want to get outcome out of your day that is good, that you can actually work and generate for you, if it's money or a growth or whatever it is, then that's what we're talking about. If you're here to experiment AI, by all means, pay $20 a month to ChatGPT, play around with the extension, do that. If that's where your world is, that's all great. We're not competing against that. We're not, by the way, we're not sold on OpenAI. We're going to integrate Claude and other places soon. So it's not like we're sold on anything. We are sold on getting the best outcome on the simplest and quickest time for you to actually be productive. That's the bottom line. Now, regarding the prompt library, I want you to understand, like a prompt, for example, that maybe sound like simple, like this, generate an engaging viral LinkedIn post, okay? This prompt is probably anywhere between 300 to 500 words of a prompt. Now, it's cost us money to generate it just to get for you. You're only getting the result. So I would give you even a second to read this prompt that didn't have any context, okay? None context. I only wrote to him how to mix entrepreneurship with wellness and spirituality. It should talk about the struggle and tips to overcome it. Read it. I'm going to give everybody here, I'm going to make it bigger. Read it for a second and tell me, what do you think about this? This is like a hook that is above the placeholder there in LinkedIn. It's giving you the couple of hashtags that you want. It's even giving it a question to engage with the community. Read it and tell me if you feel this thing is relevant.
This, of course, and I think it would be, if you reverse engineer this, right?
You cannot. That's
how the prompt.
That's the
how
funny
the prompt
thing
has been inserted, right? So because I think the magic is in adding that specific prompt, because that's why the engineers working behind 2Slash for getting the prompt library is the real work being put in, guys. You should understand that any AI, they won't throw in this output unless and until you have the exact right output, right input for it to show a result like this. It's not even if you go to ChatGPT and if you insert anything like this, it won't give you this output. This is, I think,
and I think the best way is just to test it. Feel free to go to extension X or OpenAI. Write to OpenAI, I want a viral LinkedIn post about how to mix entrepreneurship. Let's go now. Feel free to just take this and just type it there and see what you're gonna get. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that at the end of the day, it's you are not doing business or working with the fact that you're having AI beside you. You want to have to use it to actually being productive at your work, at whatever, on your personal life, whatever it is that you want to do. And the reason why we focus on short form content is because most of the bigger one is talking about, let's say, just the bigger blog post or things that are more thing. But what do you write most of the day? You write post, quick emails, you generate like a hook, you write, you comment, you reply. This is what you spend most of your day on. So yes, let's say you, like most of us are not writing blog articles every day. And even if we do, it's a thought process and whatever it is, and this even can help you in the thought process of generating it. Also generate you the blogs.
So basically, we can even mention that it eliminates that extra time you put in thought and what to write, and how to write it, how to frame it. That work has already been done through 2Slash. So you don't need to figure out, oh, how should I frame it? Is it looking right? Or, is it like, are the words correct? So all of that work which you put in the thought process, that's gone. You just need to have this particular thing, just edit with what you want into the prompt, and it will give you this. So that's how, when we talk about productivity, that's what we mean, right? So this will give you instant results, is what 2Slash is for. Every other thing out there, that's a complicated machine. This is more of ease of use and, get the work done, get shit done mentality.
Cool. And I think that just to kind of summarize the whole thing here, look, we are not here to talk about how great AI. And once you distinguish that that specific thing, you would realize that eventually AI exists to help you. Now, if you have access to those tools of AI and it's not, at the end of the day, it's not being helpful for you, that's where you need to ask yourself, what is my goal? Is my goal for the AI to help me, or my goal is for me to say that I'm using AI? The goal is the AI is to support you. And if you cannot generate this support out of the tool, then it doesn't work for you. And it doesn't matter if 2Slash is not being able to help you guys, by all means. But I'm saying that you should always look at what is your goal. And just the last thing that I want to put out here is that feel free to reach out to us. Like if it's on right now when we're doing the campaign with Rocket Hub, so feel free to put it on the Facebook. I'm trying to be on the groups and answer any questions. And we had suggestions just the other day, 2 days ago, I got 3 requests from people to generate a response in a different language as the setting, and we generate for them, and that's it. It's live in 2 days. We had another request of
I was coming to those things. I was coming to those things that you had 2 updates, and we can even let people know about those 2 updates on the call.
Yeah, so like little things that we feel that we can support, that's what we're going to do. And we are building a tool for the users, not for us. We are the users, so we're building it for you guys. And if you feel like you need a help with prompt, you're not sure how to use it, feel free. And this is why we're also in the help section create for you videos of how to install the prompt library, the contextual feature, and we're going to put more. This is even like a walkthrough of the stuff that we put in here. But you have everything you need. And if you need any support, we're here. And that's my commitment to support the community, to actually being productive like I want that tool to be. And if we can be helpful for you guys, that's amazing. And even if I might make you think about what tool you want to use, I'm happy to make this thing in your mind.
Amazing. Can you also talk about I think if you already are on the Edge browser, right? Currently, people can go on the Microsoft Edge and install 2Slash.
Right now, we're only on the Chrome. So you can be on Microsoft, but you need to have the Chrome.
Got it. Of course, you need to have Chrome alongside Edge browser. But later you are rolling out for all the native browsers, which are standalone, correct?
Correct. Right now we're only on Chrome, but we're gonna add more browsers as we go. Again, just to understand, Chrome is 70% of the browser globally. So it's not like we took like we try to go with those that it's felt for us is most of those, the community that we are aiming for, usually using Chrome.
makes sense. I think yeah, most people is that it's their default browser anyways. But
Yeah.
yes, for the Apple crowd, people who have the other browser types that say that eats up their RAM and ROM, whatever it is. So yeah, that's good. So folks, you can ask questions inside the Q&A box. We are open. We are open for. Oh, people just what? Two people just bought it right now.
That's
After
good.
looking at two
That's good.
guys. So thanks again for your purchase. So go ahead and ask more questions right now so we can answer it. And if you haven't bought it yet, we would recommend you go ahead and do it right now. We have an early bird discount going on, which is early bird 2/20. I'll just put it in the chat box. Um, and of course, if you like 2/, go ahead and even rate 2/ on the Chrome store. So people can then they have more reviews, they have more people installing it on Chrome and using it. Any other words, Itay, you want to, have some last statements and for
No,
people?
I think that, we want to basically this sentence is like making your daily work more efficient. And if we be able to do it for you guys, that's our aim. And I'm having fun from people to engage back, to give the feedback, to ask the questions. So we're here to support. I don't want you to feel like you bought something and we're like running away. We're here to every question you have or suggestions. I'm not saying everything we can do the next day, but we'll try our best to support those that using it, and
And,
this is kind of like our mission. So
and just for everyone on the call, you know that where the whole team is coming from, you can go on the About Us page and view the background and history and where
yeah,
they are coming
so
from, how many businesses they have built in the past, and they've exited, they have sold, they have, kind of made an impact into the startup community. You can have a look. That will tell you everything, right? As to how they
yeah,
are going to.
I think that by now I probably worked on more than 10 different products, me alone, not talking about
Correct.
so from things that I built, from things that I bought and flipped and make it better. And that's what I love to do. I love to create, I love to solve people problem. And we're enjoying, like me and my team. And I have Alex, my co-founder, and Yoni that is also helpful. We have, other than us two, we have another two team members that are engineers. And one is more product, one is more engineering, but we're trying to give, we have also like contracting with prompts engineers outside of just our team to get also maybe more varied kind of prompts library. But yeah, I mean, we'll love to hear you guys, to hear the feedback. What I can tell you this is that as we grow and develop more and more feature, definitely we're not gonna stay with the same deal. So one of the reasons why when I talked to Charlie and I decided to go to Rocket Hub, which are so far so good, is because I felt like it's actually pushing founders to get the initial push to actually develop and do the product a lot better. So I guess as we grow, we're definitely going to do the product a lot, even a lot more stronger, and I'm sure the prices wouldn't stay the same. And that's why I love those early adopters where they see a good opportunity and they can actually win in the long run. I'm like that, so I'm spending a lot of money on new products, which I love to be the one who is in the ground up, who can contribute even with a request. Those that request with us today got it right off the bat. So yeah, that's kind of my last thing. And yeah, thanks
Good.
everybody.
I think there's a last question from Gaetano. He just bought it right now, and he said the browser goes down before he could activate. So can he send an email to you?
You can send the email to support. We'll answer him right away. So just to understand, you said that you purchased, but the browser closed before I could choose to activate. So you can just go to the same page that it was before. The same
Sure.
page.
So you can go to the same URL, the redemption URL, Rocket Hub. So I'll just paste the URL which you have to go to after you purchase. So you can go ahead and just reactivate I think you would be logged in if you haven't
Yeah,
yet, but you can
if
go
you
to the same
haven't, and
page,
if yeah,
choose your package, and you know the process we have already given to you. So you can just repeat
Yeah.
that, and you would have your account.
and if not, feel free. We're gonna answer you either right away or tomorrow morning, and you're gonna get it ready as fast as possible. If not, we'll make sure to fix everything for you.
Okay, yeah, do email to support, and they will take care. All right, say.
Okay.
Hey, thank you so much for your time, and everyone else. I think it was a great webinar. They understood the product in and out, your purpose, and how 2Slash is there to help you steer through your daily content needs on social platforms. So you can go ahead and buy it from Rocket Hub right now. It's Rocket Hub /t/2/. I'll just put the link over here once again. So go ahead, grab your code, and we'll see you soon on the next webinar. All right. Okay. See you then. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining. Bye bye.
Bye bye.